So this next practice, I'll describe it first, and then I'll guide it through. We can practice it together, and because this practice is designed to support us through challenging emotions or challenging things, what I would love to invite us to do, because we're practicing this for most of us, it'll be the first time, to choose something small to practice with. Don't choose the great pain of your life, choose something that's a little bit simple. So I'll give some examples, and then we'll go with it. So the practice itself, we work with the breath, but we work with the breath with this understanding that whenever we're facing something that's challenging, whether that's being a bit irritated, being a bit grumpy, being a bit tired, being a bit frustrated, or right up there into like, anger, frustration, disappointment, all the like really, really heavier feelings or the bigger feelings. In this spectrum of the human emotions that we can feel, they are human emotions. And that because of the amount of human beings there are on the planet right now, there is a chance that there is someone else, probably many, many, many more people, that in the moment that we're feeling something, that there are a whole host of other people that feel exactly as we do in that moment. Maybe for different reasons, maybe with a whole different, context going on within their life, but most of our human emotion is actually very similar to each other, and we often know what it feels like to be disappointed or to have anger or to be sad or whatever it is. So we work with this practice with this deep understanding that when we are experiencing something challenging, that we are not alone in it, that there are many, many, many people in that exact moment that feel like us. And what we do is with our inhale, we breathe in with that sense of knowing. We breathe in knowing that we feel that thing we feel and that we are not alone. There are many, many, many people that feel that thing too. And we don't have to understand them or know exactly who they are. It's almost like just having a sense that many people also feel that way in this moment and have throughout human history and will probably throughout human history. So we breathe it in. So if I was working with something like disappointment, I'd breathe in, feeling the disappointment in my own being. As I said, we'll work with something soft tonight. So maybe something irritated you today. Maybe someone didn't put the bin out when they should have done, or whatever it is. So I'd breathe in that feeling of being irritated or a bit cross. I'd breathe it in, knowing that there's probably many people in the world also feeling that feeling. And then we breathe out with what we would wish that other person in the same feeling as us, what we would wish they could feel, what we would wish for them in that moment. So we're kind of getting rid of the story of the whys. We're just connecting to what is that feeling, breathing in, knowing that feeling, knowing it's something human. And then we breathe out with what we would wish for someone else feeling that to be able to feel. So a very common one for me, I get quite stressed by time, and I might breathe in with the sense of tension. I might breathe in knowing that tension is there, and I might breathe out calm. I might breathe out just the intention of calm. And I breathe in again knowing that that tension might be there, and I breathe out with the intention of calm. So it ends up in a little pattern of tension, calm, tension, calm. And I'm really kind of wishing it out for other people and really wanting it to happen. And we'll maybe have a little check-in at the end of the practice to see how it was for people. Because very often what starts to happen is that the medicine we wish for other people starts to come into our own being in that present moment. So our intention is to have something to work with, some feeling that we might find challenging at some point in our lives. And we're choosing one that's maybe a little bit easeful to practice with, knowing that we can practice it with something maybe a bit stronger later. I often say this, and people choose ones that are like a 10 out of 10 every time, but I can't choose what you do with your mind. So do try to pick something small if you can for the practice. And then when we're doing this breathing out, what we would wish for somebody else. I was listening to I can't remember what teacher it was now. I was listening to a teacher, and he was like, sometimes we overcomplicate this. We try to work out what it is they need. And actually, sometimes it's like, relax, I hope they can have some ease. And someone said, well, maybe they could do with a good cup of coffee, like it doesn't have to be solving world hunger or world peace. In that moment, we could just wish them something simple and let it be kind of easy in that way. So because it's a practice that we're doing with our felt sense in the body and we're wishing as we do the exhale, it can be really useful to close our eyes because it just helps us to be more with our intention. So if you feel up for giving this practice a go, be guided by it. And if you'd rather just listen in and be interested in it, that's fine as well. And what we'll do to close the practice is just to connect to a feeling that we know we enjoy in our life. And we'll wish that enjoyable feeling out to the world as well. So we'll start with a challenge and a remedy, a challenge and a remedy. And then we'll move into a wishing well. So in your way, make yourself comfortable. We'll only be practicing this for 7 or 8 minutes or so quite a short practice. If you're practicing with your eyes closed, you could let them close now, and otherwise just soften your gaze down just to kind of minimize the distraction. And allow yourself just to notice that you're a breathing body. You're a breathing being. Sitting here with a community of others also breathing and being. And that in our human lives we may come across difficult feelings, difficult emotions. And just allowing one of those different, maybe difficult feelings or emotions kind of to come to mind right now. Usually we have some that we've practiced a little bit. Like being cross. I'm good at practicing that one sometimes. And just choose the one that you're wanting to practice with this evening. One that you know you feel sometimes. And by knowing that you feel it, you know that maybe someone else in this group is feeling it. Maybe someone else in Somerset or England is feeling it. And maybe many, many, many people in the world are feeling it. And that if you could, what would you wish somebody else who's feeling that thing? What is it you'd wish for them? If you could. If you could offer it out on your exhale, what is it that you'd wish for them? So holding those two things, we'll begin to bring it into the rhythm of the breath. We breathe in, acknowledging whatever that challenge is, the natural breath, the easeful breath. And that natural exhale carries with it the wish that we would offer to someone else with that feeling. Allowing our breath to be as natural and easeful as possible. Breathing it in, acknowledging that many, many, many people throughout human history have felt that feeling. And then offer out with the exhale just what you'd wish for them. Just what you'd want them to have. Or know, or feel. Sometimes if we work with loneliness, breathing out connection, breathing out belonging, breathing out closeness can be a beautiful wish. Allowing your inhale to really allow you to connect to that human feeling. And allowing your exhale to really carry that wish with it. If it feels nice for you, stay with that same one. And if there's something else you'd like to try this with, maybe a different challenging feeling, just allow yourself to practice. Breathing it in, knowing that many, many, many other people have, probably do, and likely will feel that too. And then offer out that wish with the exhale. If you're noticing you're overthinking, give yourself a little smile. And maybe just wish ease, wish softness. And then we'll softly let this way of practicing go. I'm going to offer some inspiration with the word peace, but you can change it to whichever word works for you. Because we can notice that right now, of all the human beings on the earth, some of them will be feeling very peaceful, very well, very calm. So we can breathe in knowing that other people are feeling that. And we can breathe out, welcoming it into our own being. Breathing in peace, ease. Breathing out peace and ease. Breathing in a sense of deep belonging. Breathing out that sense of deep belonging. And then again, let any effort go, let any trying go. Allow yourself to take a few natural, easeful inhale, exhales, and just let the body soften. Give yourself a little nod for showing up for this hour, for choosing to practice, for choosing to care about yourself. And in the way that we have done with this practice, to care about other people. And find a way to close the practice for yourself, which might involve a hand on the heart, or a little hug, or a stretch. And let your eyes return to the room you're in. And then when you're ready, if it feels nice, you can return your eyes to a Zoom room. Yeah, take a stretch.